I actually feel like I've sounds weird, but like I've discovered the fountain of youth, because I, honest to goodness, feel better now, have better energy than I did when I was 30 and 40.
That's not the kind of comment you'd expect from a 15-year breast cancer survivor. But Cindy Sullivan has come a long way since her chemotherapy treatments.
If anyone could have ever told me how sick I was going to be, I probably would have said no, but I didn't know. And what they didn't realize was I was having continually a severe reaction to the anti-nausea meds. So every time they would give me anti-nausea meds, I would get sicker, and then they would give me more, and I would get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker with each treatment. And I kept saying to them, let's do less instead of more, but they wouldn't listen. They kept saying, no, we can fix it, we can fix it. But that little voice inside of me, when the nurse stood there with that little Dixie cup with those pills, the little voice said, don't take it.
Even then, that pathway to spirit, mind, body health was calling to her. But the other voice said they were the experts, and so the chemo continued. The cancer would eventually be beaten, but her health problems persisted until her longtime friend Candice Kontzie asked her to join her on a journey to total health.
And so it doesn't take much to warm up the fascia to allow it to, I'm going to lift your head again, to allow it to release.
I spent almost a year not being able to walk last year because of plantar fasciitis and bone spurs. And I had one cranial sacral treatment, started using some Shaklee supplements, and within weeks I was walking, and within 2 months I was power walking 45 minutes a day, every single day.
So then what I do is I work with the suture lines.
Cranial sacral therapy is based around a pulse or rhythm that runs through your dural tube that runs up your spinal cord and around your skull.
My job is to determine where that is, where that rhythm is off, and then be able to use through energy, through my fingers, is to be able to stretch it out, because it's very thin to be able to stretch it out. With Cindy's situation, I mean, she had a lot of issues with her feet and stuff. A lot of the fascia, on the bottom of her feet was so twisted. So she was having a lot of issues walking. So one of the very first things in the sessions was to untwist that.
Just breathe.
The next steps included education around nutrition, emotional stress, and exposure to toxins and radiation in Cindy's daily life. It's part of the holistic approach to health that Candice promotes at Roy Can's Country Haven, where several modalities of alternative healing are touched by Little Country. Her equine therapy is available to people once they start down that road to better health.
A lot of it is getting back to feeling and touching. We're in such a society right now that everything is so crazy that a lot of people, just even the action of hugging, okay, we don't do.
And so the equine therapy encourages clients to feel the horse, feel its rhythm, its texture, and slowly bring down their energy. Candice brings the power of that gentle touch to her work on the table, the place where clients like Cindy start leaving their worst days behind.
Last year I was in a bad place, hugely overweight, totally unhealthy, no energy, nothing fit. I couldn't garden, that's my passion, garden and walking. I couldn't do any of those things.
Often it's the people closest to you that are the most difficult to help. But in this case, the opposite is true.
I think she knows how much I love her. I couldn't do it without her.
And now that this journey has begun,
knowing what I know now, if I got cancer again, I don't think I would do chemo, in all honesty. My naturopath would have been thrilled if I hadn't, but back then, I didn't know what I know now, and I was scared, and I figured that's what you do.
People are changing their perspectives around health, even in the midst of some of the scariest diagnoses.
People are tired of, constantly putting Band-Aids on what's happening. And, there's just so much out there that can be done. And there's so many people now that are going and getting some of the training that I've got, which is great, because that means there's going to be more people out there that can then turn around and reach out and help others.
Cindy has been using natural medicine for about 25 years, so it didn't take much for her to make her way out to Roy Can's country haven. But Candice has become popular with many others since she started with the horse therapy just 8 years ago. And some people are willing to drive up to 6 hours to start that new journey to total health. For Go Winnipeg, I'm Kim Kasher.